Hello and welcome. We're going to get into another video. And today's video, we are going to talk about the top teams in the Open Great League for the last week in the season. This is the max out season, and this is the last week technically. So this is your last chance to hit a new milestone if you're still trying. And in today's video, I will showcase the best teams in the Open Great League, which will help you out to climb, hopefully. As always, remember how I always start talking about the best Pokemons. I'm not gonna do that because you guys are here for the team. You guys aren't here for telling you the last week of the season why you should be using this Pokemons. But let's take a look at PvP ranking. Number 1 is Clodsire, followed by Mandibuzz and Galarian Corsola, which is going to start becoming in the game on the 27th. It's expected to be extremely good of a Pokemon and extremely hard to get as well, because it's going to be level 50. Number 1, it's going to be level 50. Number 2, you have to hatch lots of eggs and then trade them and get a low rank 1 for the Go Battle League. It has Astonish, Nightshade, and Power Gem. Astonish is the best fast move currently, combined with Mud Slap. They are technically the same move. Power Gem and Nightshade are also good moves. Clodsire again making another debut in the top 5, but this time with a Stone Edge instead of Sludge. You do need a Sludge Bomb for the Dunsparce matchup. It flips the Dunsparce matchup, so make sure you are running the correct moveset. Azu, Gastro, Gator, Feraligatr, and Shadow are in the top 8. I mean, there is nothing you can do to prevent water Pokemons from being good. It's just a great typing, and those Pokemons have extremely good coverage. Feraligatr being a much offensive version of Azu, and Azu being a much defensive version of Gator. Diggersby is making a top 10 DPU. It's actually in the top 9. Diggersby is good because it's a Pokemon that's neutral to Gator. Yes, you take super effective from Hydro, but you resist the double resist the Shadow Claw, and you will make, once you land the Scorching Sand, you can farm them all the way down. Jumpluff, Prime Ape, and Pangoro and Malamar are followed by those. Is there anything else that is not mentioned here? Well, I'm not going to talk about the top ranking. I'm going to talk about the top performance. The top ranking means those Pokemons are great against the entire meta, which is 500 to 600 Pokemons. But the top performance are the Pokemons that are good in the condensed meta. If you go to GBL, technically all people use the similar Pokemons, 10 to 15 Pokemons, up to 20 Pokemons in the Great League, because lots of good options. So those are technically the best performance. Clodsire is the best Pokemon currently. Dugong is the best anti-meta Pokemon. Shadow Drapion is the best Core Breaker. Those 3 Pokemons are insane. So you need to make sure that you have one of these 3 at least. At least one of those 3. Why not all of them? That will make you weak to Gastrodon. That will make you weak to Shadow Kanto Marowak. So those 3 are you need to make sure you have at least 1. 2 is preferred. Diggersby, as I said, it's a good Pokemon. Pangoro is probably the best fighter, but now Prime Ape is actually better. Talonflame is a good Core Breaker. Toxapex has an issues. Galarian Moltres being a better version of Mandibuzz. So we talked about the top performing Pokemons. Let's talk about the top performing teams. So these teams are expected to be the best teams at whichever elo you are. Usually the top teams are teams that only work at high MMR. Okay, balanced teams are teams that can work at low MMR, because at high MMR teams are ABA. At legend rank, teams are ABB. At lower rank, teams are ABC. These teams can be either of these, but these top performing teams basically are good in the condensed meta. And the team that was actually insanely good last time, it's similar team to the team I posted, which I hit legend with, which I stole from Wholesome. I was running Azu, Shadow Drapion, and Shadow Sandslash, Alone Sandslash. But PvPoke said Dugong is actually better than Drapion, because Dugong provide a better matchup, a better play into stuff like Clodsire. Well, Drapion has to call a bait. Drapion has to shield as well, while Dugong does not care about that. So this is the top performing team. If you guys need a solid team, this is an extremely solid team. Yeah, sir, I hate Dugong. Well, I have an answer for you. How about instead of Azu double Ice, you run Azu double Poison? Look at that. Very creative, just for you, so you can use these teams in the Go Battle League. So which Pokemon is the safe swap here? It's a Drapion. Why not Clodsire? Clodsire is technically not a good safe swap. It's a great lead, it's a great closer. It's literally the best closer and the best Pokemon and the best lead. And the safe swap, you tend to need to a Pokemon that can pressure the shields, and nothing does that better than Shadow Drapion in the current meta. What if I don't have Azu? You go outside and get Azu. How about that? Now, what if you don't have a Drapion? You can use Clodsire. Another solid team here is like, if you're sick of these Azu leads, nothing better to destroy Azu than Shadow Jumpluff. What if you have non-Shadow? I mean, that's fine. And something to keep in mind, Azu, Ice Beam from Azu does not kill this. You can literally no shield it. Jumpluff is so tanky. So Jumpluff with Gastro and Clodsire is a bit weak to the ice. So if you think you are weak to ice, just use Shadow Drapion instead of Clodsire. But if you don't see ice, you can just keep the Clodsire and that should be fine. One of the most annoying teams, which I do hate, is this. This team is a very annoying team. It's just because I simply hate seeing Ariados. Ariados is one of the best Pokemons in the current meta. If you get a good lead and you lose the game, you should delete the game. If Ariados gets a good lead, there is no way Ariados teams will lose, because whichever Pokemon you will swap in will get debuffed. And they can simply 2-shield against most of the neutral leads. And you can 2-shield against most of the stuff. And pretty much the only Pokemon that this thing can't 2-shield through is Registeel. That's it. Yeah, and Registeel is a dead Pokemon. So the team is kind of solid. I actually like it. And I think it's kind of one of those low skills teams. Because how does this team work? If you see a Ghost lead, you just go to Azu. If you see a Gator lead, you're just going to win the game. But because of Ariados, we saw a comeback to Clodsire in the lead. Because Clodsire is like something that destroys it, right? Because you're not going to shield at all. Like, you just don't care. This team, I call it, is one of the bulkiest teams and one of the easiest to play teams, because Clodsire, you're just either going to win lead or lose lead. There is no neutral, because every neutral lead is a lead that Clodsire wins. And Clodsire is good at being... Do you remember Licky last season? Clodsire is like Licky, but also hits harder. Because Licky's problem that it does no damage from the charge move. This Pokemon does damage from the charge move, because you have EQ and Sludge Bomb, right? And you spam a move every 6 seconds. Licky used to spam Body Slam in 6 seconds. This thing spams Sludge Bomb in 6 seconds. So Clodsire is good at getting shield advantage, and nothing in the game right now is better having being upper shield than Gator, because Gator upper shield can beat Grass, which is supposed to be the hardest counter for Gator. And Mandy is good at being an independent Pokemon that does not care about having shields. This team is so good that I haven't mentioned it twice. So you guys, this team is just insanely good. The team kind of struggle into Sandslash, but since the team is weak to Sandslash, you have to run Snarl Mandy. Okay, so if you see a Sandslash in the lead, you go to Mandy, and then you pray that they do something scuffed. One of the Pokemons that I think is extremely underrated in the current meta is Serperior. And the best Serperior team must be combined with Dunsparce, because Serperior is just going to get destroyed by the poisons. And Dunsparce is good at beating the poisons. Here, if you don't think Clodsire is good, if you struggle with Clodsire, just replace it with Dugong or Shadow Drapion, and you should have a great team. For the Pangoro Believers, last time someone was like, oh, you keep saying that Pangoro is a good core breaker, but I don't see a Pangoro team. This team is good. If you want to use a Pangoro or a Prime Ape, you can use either. The problem with this team is Azu in the lead, but Azu in the back is something you can handle, because technically Talonflame is not bad into Azu. Someone's like, oh, what do you mean, Yasser? Azu destroys Talon. Azu beat Talon, but Talon isn't bad into Azu. It's simple, just as simple. You're not going to win, but it's not like leading Altaria into Dugong, right? That's what I mean. And Clodsire is just the best Pokemon. Another version of this team is that if you don't think it's good, you can just use Greninja, because Greninja has play into Azu. Like, if you Night Slash boost, you win the 2. And Mandibuzz is there as a safe swap if you lose the swap. If you lose the lead. Technically, Greninja only lose lead to Grass and Fighters, and those two destroy the Grass and the Fighters. So Azu in the lead, you stay in, and then you double shield. So these are like the top performing teams. Now moving into something else, which I call team from top players. Who are the top players? Like my teammates, basically. like people who hit legend extremely rare in the season, and they hit 3500 MMR every season at the end of the season. So those players were generous enough to share their teams, their thoughts, and give us their teams that they will actually run. The first one is Pokemango, one of the best players currently in this season. He hit number 1 this season, and he has been a consistent top 10 every time he wants to. Okay, if you see him below top 10, that's because he wants to play the game and he's trying to tank to get some games. Because I think if you are in the top 10, it takes like an hour and a half to do 5 sets. So it's just a savage way. It's like actually the game punish you for being good. He likes Diggersby and the Drapey Encore, and he thinks that Clefable is good in the meta. I don't think so. But I agree that those two combined together are like just extremely good. Well, yes, if you don't think Clefable is good, what do you think is good? Azu. Simply good, right? Hopefully Mango does not watch the video. Another good player is Nices. Yo, I think this guy paid me to be here. So he's like, can I pay you and you call me good? I'm like, yeah, sure. If you guys want to support the channel, I will call you a top leaderboard player. But I won't show the rating because I don't lie. Okay, it's just I can spread fake news, but I don't lie about having good news. So Ed is good at being my friend. He's my friend, so that's why he's here. His team is extremely weak to Sandslash, but he's always weak to the molds, right? He said, if you think the team is weak to Sandslash, use Toxapex. Toxapex lose to Sandslash. Yeah, how does we beat Sandslash? Okay, we can fix it because Ed is our teammate, our friend. We can fix this team for him and we just put Greninja here. So yeah, put Greninja. Greninja double dark. That makes the team a triple dark. Ew, cringe. Okay. Pangoro double dark? No. We need something that... Oh, okay, we can fix it. Yeah, we can fix it. Yeah, Dunspots. Yeah, Dunspots double dark. Just pray you don't see a... what's the thing? Pangoro. Brandoni, one of the greatest players of this season. Just this season. He's been killing it this season. This team is basically 3 good Pokemon. There is no safe swap. There is no like, okay, you should be leading this Pokemon. This team is literally 3 neutral Pokemon. You just play neutrally and you try to outplay your opponent. Because with this team, any of these Pokemons can be a lead. Any of these Pokemons can be a safe swap. The team is kind of weak to Azu and Pangoro, but to be honest, Malamar wins the 2 against Azu. Shadow Gator wins the 1 and the 2. Sandslash is fine into Azu. So any Pokemon you can face in the lead has a neutral. Malamar has a neutral plate into. It's a special, except I think Jumpluff is bad in the lead, but I think Jumpluff is the worst thing for this team. Like if they lead Talonflame, Malamar wins the 0 and the 1. A team from Softove. This is the team she actually used to hit Legend, and it was basically Gator, Diggersby, and Clodsire. What's the thing behind this team? Gator is the best Pokemon. Is the best spammy Pokemon. Clodsire is the best closer. And Diggersby is just a great neutral Pokemon that does well into the most of the meta. It destroys Clodsire. It's fine into destroys A-Slash. It's not bad into the Flyers because you run quick attacks. So if they swap in a Jumpluff, you can just go quick attack, fire punch straight. Some people said Hyper Beam. I tried running Hyper Beam and I didn't like it, to be honest. Now, here is a team from Elam who hit number 1 this season, and this wasn't his team. Okay, let me update this video with Elam's a new team. Okay, I was able to find the team Elam used to hit number 1, which is Dugong, Charjabug, Azu. What's the concept behind this team? I think he queued into the Go Battle League and people were just extremely weak to Dugong. So he led Dugong and he won the lead 10 games and people were safe swapping Gator, and then he was punishing them with Charjabug. And Azu in the back as just, like a stable into making this team like a legit team. So he went 10-0 and then he hit number 1 in the leaderboard at 3,565. I believe this is the only time Elam hit number 1 at high elo. He usually hit number 1 at 2,700, 2,600. But hey, Elam is cracked. He's number 1 player in the Go Back League, and he is number 1 in the world right now in play Pokemon as well. So if he tells you that this team is good, I mean that means this team is goated. The Wholesome team, okay? Wholesome has many teams this season, okay? He surprised us with so many good teams. The first team he used was Sandslash, Shadow Marowak, and Gastrodon. Basically, the best the best ice Pokemon combined with the best Mud Slappers in the game, which is Kwag and the Gastrodon. And as an answer, because this team is extremely weak to grass, he had to use the hardest grass counter, which is All-One Sandslash. But he made another team, which I myself used to hit Legend, which is Azu, Sandslash, and Shadow Drapion, which PvPoke said is actually the best team as long as you put Dugong over the Drapion here. Because with the Drapion, the team is just extremely weak to Mud Slappers in the back. So if you're going to fix that, you just put Dugong here. Smash King. The Smash King is known as the only player who has Shadow Kanto Marowak and still hasn't hit Legend. Maybe he said he will do a Legend push tonight, so make sure to check his live stream. His team is basically 3 of the best Pokemons this season. Shadow Drapion is the best Pokemon. This is the best safe swap. Kanto Marowak is the best Pokemon. Malamar is the best Pokemon in the 2-Shield. Signali told us that this is, if you need a Morpeko team, this is the best Morpeko team. I think it's kind of weak to Kanto Marowak and Wiggly. But, I mean, at high MMR, Wiggly doesn't exist. Kanto Marowak is always in the back, so you have this thing as an answer and this thing as a soft answer. Snots, I think, hit #1 in the leaderboard this season with Shadow Machamp, Diggersby, and Shadow Drapion. I don't recommend using Snots teams. They are usually teams that are extremely frail. And he benefits from the fact that people take sometimes long to react. So if you play against the Snots and he swaps and it took you 2 seconds, yeah, he's gonna win the game. Because, I mean, he's a 16 years old kid, right? He is just so fast at, like, making fast, rapid decisions. And, like, instantly, if you take too long against him, you're pretty much going to lose. Because, you know, that's his advantage. He's good at being, at reacting fast, okay? So, and I think that's pretty much it. So these are all the good teams that I was able to find in the Go Battle League and on PvPoke and from good players. Good luck with your climb, and I hope you hit Legend or whichever rank you want to hit. Thank you so much for watching, and enjoy the rest of your day, night, or whatever you're having. And I will catch you all in the next video. Thank you so much for watching. Peace.